Yeah, so hi guys, we're in the middle of the BT50 build. We've just fitted the water tank, so this is where the water tank is located on the tray. There's also going to be one in the camper, but within the tray, so we house it centrally, so all of the weights over the pumpkin and also fairly evenly distributed, slightly forward but over the rear axle. So just to show you, so it's about a third of it over or behind the rear axle and 2/3 of it's forward of the rear axle, and that ensures that the weight's evenly distributed across. Other things we've already done to this vehicle is we've done a suspension upgrade, so this gives you a bit of a better look than the other photos. So yeah, these are upgraded springs, so it's got a GVM upgrade and the suspension go with it. So yeah, all in all, they're not a bad design under here, and the way this has now been done, we've certainly got the room and also the weight very well distributed down here. Hi guys, yeah, welcome back. We are on this BT50 build. So right now I've just started doing the secondary fuel filter, or primary fuel filter, which the factory run becomes secondary. I probably should have shown you a little bit how this all works, but look, I'll give you a bit of a rundown. So I use Western Filter products. We're not sponsored or get anything for it, but I should mention they're extremely good. Like we've used their products quite a few times, and they've been very, very, very reliable for us. So, you know, really good product, highly recommend it. Now, first thing we have to do is remove the actual primary filter. So this is where the original fuel filter sits, and it will be returned to that in order to get to the hoses and actually fit this spigot on here. Once that's done, we then put the bracket onto here. So the bracket's actually got the two screws that are already there, or two fitments that are already there from factory, and there's a provision for another screw down the bottom here. So again, very simple to do and simple to fit, and again, really good product. I've been very, very happy with it. So the next part will be, once that's all fitted in, we'll get the fuel filter and do the fittings. So what that means, basically do this layout here. Once we've done those fittings, we can then fit it to the bracket and start running the fuel lines from the original filter through to the primary filter. So the fuel will come in, it'll feed the primary filter, it'll then run into the secondary filter, which used to be the factory one, and then always the factory one, and then from there into the vehicle. So any contaminants should get stopped here. If they do go through there, there's the secondary down the back. Alright guys, we've just finished installing the secondary filter, or which ends up actually becoming the primary filter. So just to show you, we've reassembled the factory filter, which is now in actual fact the secondary filter. And the two changes that have occurred, and it's too hard to unfortunately film how it's all done, but this is your main inlet. So this now feeds to the primary filter at the front, and this one at the back here feeds into the engine. So what that actually looks like is that down in here we're running two additional fuel lines, which are also covered in conduit to protect, and then this becomes your primary filter. So this is your inlet from the fuel tank, and then obviously goes through a filter, comes out, runs down along the side there, and then up into here, and from there gets filtered a second time, goes through there, and then into the engine here. So we'll start the car up now, and we'll see how we go. We might have to do a bit of priming. All right, I'll get you to start that one if you want. Yep. And we'll just see how the priming goes.
I'll leave it on as long as you tell me.
Oh, it'll cut out. You'll run out of fuel. Told you. So yeah, this is one of the things, even with modern vehicles, you still have to prime the diesel. Generally, just pump it until it gets firm, and then try again. Alright, give that another shot, see whether it'll pull through. Nah, not yet. So all it is just this little pump up here, you just depress that. Alright, give that another shot. Nah, that's it. Not quite, it's almost there now. I can see it build in the new filter that's under here. So there's a glass bowl under that, which is a bit hard to see from here, but yeah, it's starting to build fuel. So, alright, give that another shot. Just give it a little bit more. Yep. Let it go, don't rev it, just, yeah, do it again. It's getting very firm now, so we just need to let that air come out of all the cylinders and out of all the injectors. And then once it starts to run, we'll check for leaks. So far so good. And while we're at it, for those people who don't believe it's an Isuzu, that's an Isuzu. Okay, so now that we're finished, we've just idled it for a while just to make sure that all the air is out, and you can now see the glass bowl. So these bowls down here, they've got a little outlet tap, which is very difficult to film because of where it is located. But that little tap down here will actually allow you to drain any water out if it comes out. While installing them, the only thing I would be mindful of is just, you've got that air conditioning line down here. So just be very, very mindful that you position that in the right place down the bottom, so that that doesn't touch the bottom and break that spigot off on the outlet. But the way I've positioned it, it literally clears by about 5 to 10 mil. So even if there's a bit of vibration like that, so even if there's a bit of vibration like that, it's not going to hit the bottom of it. So other than that, yeah, everything is good. We've checked for leaks, so no leaks, and yeah. Job one done. Okay, so we just finished the Provent installation. I must apologise, I didn't actually film doing that, and I probably should have. But look, it's fairly simple. So the base plate that comes with another Western filter product, you undo the screw off the bottom of the ABS, and it fits into there. The second one goes into or underneath the actual air filter box. And there's a third one which they provide the screw for, which just goes into the chassis mount or the frame down here. As far as the pipe, so it's actually pretty simple. There's a pipe that goes from the air intake across up here into the top of the engine. You just remove that and then replace it. So this one here is the lower one, goes in, and then the upper one goes through there. And yeah, that's it. It's actually pretty straightforward. It sits nicely. The only thing I did find with this one was that entire unit was actually rotated in the bracket, so this was facing forward. And for a little while there we didn't think it would fit, and then realised that you have to we had to unclip that bracket, which was a bit different, but unclip it and rotate the entire unit and then re-put the bracket back. And it works fine. Yeah, so that's it. So that's done. Now we're on to driving lights, electrical harness which goes from the starter battery to the tray, which will then power the camper that goes on the back, and we'll put a switching module inside the drives compartment, and then find a place for the actual module itself. There you go, we got it done. I will show you some more, but yeah, right now he's going to go for a bit of a test drive. Off you go, see how you go on the test drive. That way, down the big hill. Okay, so we finally finished. Unfortunately, got a bit late last night, and I must apologise. It's just very hard to film this sort of stuff, and given that we had a limited time to get done, I just really didn't find the time to do it. So I thought I'd quickly run you through. So first things first, made up a bracket here that houses the fusible link to the rear. So this is the power supply that goes all the way to the back tray, and in eventuality will supply the power for the camper that sits on the tray on this vehicle. And we've got space here for an additional fuse link. We'll always do a base plate big enough to fit two, because, well, you don't know, what's going to happen in eventuality in future. In addition to that, we fitted a light control module. So this has 6 outlets across the front. Made up a bracket here, custom bracket, to house that. This will, lighting control module will eventually, as the camper goes on, I think it's around April, we'll start fitting some lights that are controlled from the vehicle and some lights that will be controlled from the camper. But the lights controlled from the vehicle will be managed through that lighting control module, which makes things very clean, very neat. There's only one wire has to run through a firewall, and everything else is good. So down here we've got the relay for the driving lights. Over here we've got the primary fuel pump now, so the factory one becomes the secondary, which is just up here, and this here ends up becoming the primary one. So that's the one we fitted aftermarket. Very nice product. Very nice product. This Western Filters supplied this. We're not affiliated, but yeah, no, very nice job. Really nice brackets. Good product. So thumbs up on these guys. Over here, obviously, we've got the oil catch can, which we fitted the other day. Same thing, Western Filter as well. Really nice bracketry. It sits very nicely. And when you look at the overall engine bay, it looks factory. Like, you really can't sort of tell that there's been any major or any modifications at all. Down here we've got the new BZR X215 Hardcore lights. Yeah, really nice product again, and very sturdy brackets, very solid fitment, and again looks the part and certainly does a really good job. Alright, so in here now we've got the lighting control module panel. There's no indicators of what lights they are yet, because obviously we haven't fitted them at this point. That will happen when the camper goes on the back, and we'll fit additional lights to the vehicle, and they will then be controlled from here. Which is, it just eliminates having to run 400 wires in and out of firewall. It's only one wire. Then we've got the throttle controller down here. So down here now we've got the throttle controller, obviously connected to the accelerator, and it's certainly made a difference on your test drive, didn't it?
Nice.
So yeah, it's most people are quite impressed by it, or amazed. Under the vehicle, down here, we've got the water tank that's sitting in the centre, pretty well over the rear axle, so all the weight is supported around there. And then on this side here, we've just got the filler point for the water tank. And just behind there's an Anderson plug socket right here, which will be for when the camper comes, and there's another additional fuse link down there in case something goes wrong, and that wiring harness that runs underneath. Down here we've got a tap outlet. So this is an outlet for just gravity fed water from the water tank. It's got quite a lot of good flow to it, so it'll be quite good.
Hi guys, my name is Darren, this is Securely Off-Road Adventures, and we will be building this Tommy camper now. So we've got everything here. We've started to set everything to look. So we've got the Red Arc here, so that's the Red Arc BMMS, and it's the lithium version. We've also got the Duetto Mark II hot water system. We've got a heater over there. That heater is we still have to kind of figure out how we're going to put it in. And then over here we've also got the power supply, or the battery itself. It's a 110 amp hour Provent unit. So yeah, that's got to go in. That's the back of the Bushman, so we just kind of laid everything out. What we're currently doing, the noise you can hear, is we're draining that water tank. We need to get access to some of this stuff. Then what we're going to do is, I apologise for the lighting, we're going to be putting a backing board onto here, because this is just aluminium, so it's quite thin. And given that all of this stuff has to fit onto there, plus the battery, it's quite a bit of weight, so we need to just put a bit of marine ply on the back of that. So we're going to put 12mm marine ply, coat it or cover it in aluminium, and then we're going to be fitting everything to it as needed. So we'll give you a bit more of a look on the camper later, but right now that's our first job. Yeah, good morning folks. This is day 2 of the Tommy camper build. So it's going to be quite sporadic filming, unfortunately. I just don't have the resource or time to kind of show everything. But anyway, what I'm going to show you is the board that we've just done. So this is marine ply, and I've just sandwiched a thin piece of alley to it. Just use some quick grip overnight to glue it down. So this actually will effectively go on the back wall or the headboard wall of the camper internally, and then all of our components like the hot water system and everything will get fitted to it. So I'll put that together a bit now, and then I'll actually be able to show you what that looks like when it's all done. Okay, just a little hint guys, this product here, I actually swear by it. It's available at Mazda 10. I've not seen it at Bunnings. There might be some other hardwares that do it. Probably like home hardware and stuff as they associate with Mazda 10. But really good product, water-based. I'm not being sponsored or anything by it, but I will let you guys know it is extremely good. Now, what I do with this, and I'll show, so these sort of bolts here, for example, in the back of this hot water system, they don't have spring washers. Now I could put a spring washer under there, but even they over time collapse, and they do actually have let go. I've lost bolts with spring washers in them. But what I have never lost is if I put a little bit of that glue in between the bolt and that bracket. So I'll show you what I mean. So there we go. I'll just put a bit on there. It's think of it like a silicone adhesive. It's extremely good. It's water-based, and when that dries, it literally sets like concrete. But in essence, by me doing this here, what actually is going to happen is that now the bolt can't, in vibration, rotate out. So you won't have, while you're traveling, especially in bad roads or corrugated roads, which we have plenty of, you won't be losing the nut or the bolt coming out, and then hot water system falling down. Especially given these Duetto 10 litre units, they're around the 7.5 kilos plus 10 litres of water. You're looking at close to 20 kilos of a unit sitting there, and the last thing you want to do is have that tumble through the vehicle. Okay, so the board is now finished. We've just loosely set it into the camper, so we'll go right out. There you go. So that's that aluminium covered marine ply. And we've started fitting all of the accessories and batteries and everything to it. So you've got BMS up here, or BMS up there. You got an 800 watt inverter there. This person will likely never use it, so we only need a very small one. We've got the 110 amp hour Provent battery, which is there. And then we've got the Duetto hot water system. And just behind there is the pump. So we've got the internal water tank there, which will basically feed directly from that bottom bung into there, and then from there it'll feed into the Duetto. From the hot water will come out, and we've just put a hole in here, and this is where the shower rows and shower fittings and taps will go, as we've got the shower tent directly above. All right, guys, we've come to the end of another day, and we've now actually achieved quite a lot today. So I'm going to walk through quickly and show what we've actually done so far. And you can see this is the passenger side, what we've actually achieved. So we've got the BMS, we've got the 240 inverter, we've got the battery, which is the BT50 110 lithium slimline. We've got the pump for the hot water system. And then over there you see the cowling and the shafts beyond, which I'll take you around shortly. So tomorrow, the big thing for us is electrical panel has to go up into here. That will actually power or control all of it. The fridge will go back into here, which we've just taken out temporarily. And then there'll be a switch panel along this side. So that will be shown tomorrow. All right, so on this side here, the big achievement I think for today has been that we've now got the actual external shower fitted. So that's a mixer tap. So it's just like your home flick mixer or mix tap, except that it's much smaller and obviously for the van or a caravan. We've got a shower here, which will facilitate with the shower tent at the top there. Let me zoom that out a bit. So sorry about that. So yeah, there's the shower tent. That drops down here. And the shower fittings are there, so that gets closed. And it's got a good seal around it too. So this is a marine product, or we got from a marine shop, and it's actually quite good. Little shower head's got a trigger on it, and it's got on the tap or on the back of this, it's got a hot and a cold input and the flexi line output for that. So just to show you how we've built that in, I'm going to get in the way of my own light. So basically we've just done the cowling, and that's basically to prevent if there's any water shoot back to get over any of the electrical stuff up here. And it also helps guide that hose back into here. So when you pull the hose out, if we're having a shower, it goes back. We've just put a little bucket under there in case any water ever comes out. We can just take that out. It's got one little nut. You can just undo by hand, take it out. But if you ever go get any water, it's just going to stay in there. We could have closed it off completely, put a hole in the base there to let the water out. But at this stage, we thought that this would be a simpler idea. And as it keeps it open, it makes it very easy to kind of keep an eye on it as well. So, but we'll see how that works. So we've got, that's the shower part. That's the hot water system, so that now feeds the shower. This is the cold water inlet for the hot water system, which will run back to that pump, and the pump will feed from the bottom of that tank. There's a second tank, which is actually located under the vehicle. So this setup, once on the road touring, will have dual water tanks available to it. Battery's now actually hooked up. So this BT50 110 amp is actually now fully operational. It's already hooked into the BMS, so it's all pre-wired under there, and the shunt's up here for it. So everything is ready to go. Everything's been pre-wired. The only thing we now got to do is that electrical panel over here with all the fusing switches, and then the switch panel will go down there between the fridge and the edge of where that water tank is, and yeah, that's done. So everything is good. We're also going to have a 240 power board here for the hot water and the red arc, so that when this vehicle is at home and you have shore power, you can just plug that one lead into it and it's all ready to go for getting it charged before you leave on the trip. So all in all, achieved today, I think. We got a lot more done than we thought, or than I thought I would. So yeah, it's really now just a case of tomorrow probably do all the electrics, finish the plumbing off, and then it's just little bits and pieces like some cosmetic stuff that we want to do, and obviously got to build the fridge platform. We've got some box section aluminium to work with that. So all right, we'll see you on the next one. Yeah, so unfortunately again, I don't have the time to sort of go through and show in detail all of the stuff that I'm doing, unfortunately. So, but anyway, I'll show you what I've done. I've started building the electrical board, and that's basically, well, not an electrical board, a backboard that'll contain the fuses and switching gear and all that stuff. So just to give you a bit of a look at it, a bit of an idea what we're up to. So this is the board here. So that will actually go next to the other panel that has the chargers and everything on it. So this will line up with all the cabling, so the cabling will run into there. Now in this assembly here, which is a switch assembly, so there's a remote switch which operates, you've got all these connections here. So you've got these 230s, 220s, bunch of 10s, a couple of 5s. You've got a main fuse inlet, or a relay inlet, and it's so that all the main power comes in. It's actually going to run into this fuse here, and then from that fuse it's redistributed into this fuse, and also redistributed into this fuse. So everything is fused extremely well. This here is going to be buzz bar for the earth, so all of your earth will come into there and feed into it, so that can be read by the BMS down the other end. So that's what this is for. So that's quite a good one, and it gives you plenty of earth options. Now, for anything going into that relay, it has its own earth, which is this one here, so it doesn't actually need to have a separate earth back to the buzz bar, but this is earth itself, but any other sort of components have to go through there. Yeah, so now we're about to install it into the car, and we'll see how we go. Alright guys, so we're still at this, clearly. So yeah, we are now in the process of finalising some of the more specific details. So we've got those lunar national lights up here, or national lunar lights, really good. Perth Pro's actually raving on about these. Heiner from Perth Pro has been raving on about these for a long time. And I've had a look at them, and yeah, he's absolutely right. They are absolutely perfect. So because they're going through to the exterior, just the door from the camper, I've put them on a plate and then riveted the plate through the actual body with the rivets on the outside. I'll give you a look. So yeah, the rivets are actually there, and once we put a bit of colour on them, you won't even know they're there. So that's quite good. As far as on the side, we now have these Nava working lights, which are movable and also controlled from in the vehicle as well as in the camper. So you've got them on the side and the rear and everything as well. As far as inside is concerned, yeah, we're definitely now in the final stages of connecting everything, which is quite good. As far as the lights and powers and stuff are concerned, around the back, we've just fitted, around the back we've also just fitted a national lunar light here, so in the entry point, apart from the spotlight on the outside, you've also got this for when you're coming up the stairs, so you can actually see what's going on. Makes it a little bit easier. For the back here, we will be fitting, for this back part here, we will be fitting a jerrycan holder and a gas bottle holder up here. Obviously keep it high enough up that if there's a rear impact collision, it won't affect it. We've resolved the water tap issue. So unfortunately, we're not entirely sure, but these tanks, I'm going to talk to Tommy about this, but they've got 10mm outlets, which isn't water, it's gas. And in actual fact, this came with gas fitting here, which is less than desirable for a number of reasons. So we had to actually get somebody to locate us a step up from 10mm to your standard 20mm, and then put a normal tap on there so that you've actually got normal water, which unfortunately brings it out by about an extra inch or 25mm, which really, it's not ideal. So it would have been nice if that was a proper fitting right through there instead of what was done. To show you what I actually mean, this is the tap that actually came on there. So that's a 10mm fitting, and it's a gas tap. Should never be put on anything, especially not a vehicle. This was the bung that was in on the opposite side
which obviously runs to the hot water system. So, but that's just a 10mm gas fitting. It should never be on a camper or anything else other than gas. So on this side here now, we've also got a floodlight here. Again, it's movable, and it just clears, the shower tent just comes down the side. As you know, this is the shower control and rose location, and we've all got this plumbed in there now. That's obviously the shower rose, and we've got that all plumbed through here into the hot water, and then down here. So the only thing I need to do is put a one-way valve, so that regulator valve in there, and feed that through. Everything up here is finished, so all this is now properly fitted and solid. It's all running through the tracks nicely, and then over there is just where we just were a minute ago, finishing off. What we've done with the pump, we've actually hooked the pump to the switch wire, or the same wire as this, so the switch wire and the pump wire on the same circuit, running up, which means that this can never be switched on unless the pump is on, so therefore you can never switch this on while it's dry, which I actually thought was a really good idea, to make sure that there's always water in there before you can actually turn it on. So the power supply, 12-volt power supply, is one circuit. Then there's a circuit for remote control, and then there's a third circuit, which is the actual switch to turn this unit on and off. It's on the same circuit as the pump, which means that if the pump's not on, the whole water won't on, vice versa. So therefore you never start that on. And other than that, okay guys, so we finally finished the build. This is the Tommy camper build, so it's now completely finished in 99% of it. So there are some things that the owner of this nice vehicle still wants to do, but at this point we're pretty well done. So I'm just going to do a bit of a quick walk around and show you guys, and unfortunately, look, it's very late. We were anticipating to be finished a lot earlier, and you know, it's a bit of a shame, but I will do another full walk around of this thing in a couple of weeks before we release, and then we'll use some of that daytime footage. But just to give you guys a bit of an idea, at night time this thing will be quite spectacular in how it lights up. So we'll just show you what's what and how it all looks. So here we've actually got a lighting control panel. We've also got a hot water system, which we'll show you in a minute, and we've got the red arc here. So just to give you a bit of an idea, see, it's very late. So currently the vehicle is running. We've got that running for reasons, just so we can show people a little bit what's happening. So currently the batteries are fully charged, so there's no need to get anything in, but you can see that's the vehicle charge. And that vehicle charge is basically controlled through this connection up here, which is an EnerDrive recessed Anderson plug, and then at the bottom of the tray, just behind the water fitting in there, is another weather covered Anderson, and that supplies the charge. When you plug 240 in, this does have 240 input for shore power. It'll activate that. So at the moment, yeah, we're completely status, so everything is good. So we'll turn some lights on, we'll show you what the thing does. Okay,
So we've just turned everything off for a really good reason. We're actually going to show you a little bit of the lighting system first. So this one controls, it turns on the panel. So this is a really good multiple control unit, which is located inside. We'll show that a little bit later. But it actually has all the lights. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have matching parts to it, so we had to kind of go with it. So this is for interior upstairs. So this is it got a sleeping arrangement up the top, and that's what that's for. This one is for downstairs. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. So it actually turns on lights in the cargo area. This one is the external lights, or the kitchen lights. Now these are the national lunars, so we can actually adjust them on 3 different settings in white, or if we hold them, they will actually go orange, and then we can change to 3 different settings there. So really good for keeping bugs away and everything from your campsite. And then this one here does the external floodlights. So there's 3 of them, which is this one here, and then there's another one around the back. So when the the reversing or anything like that, or needing some light around the outside of camp. And you've also got this floodlight over here. Okay, so and then we've got auxiliary 1. So auxiliary 1 turns the pump on for the hot water system, so it's immediately primed. You have to turn it on, and then auxiliary 2 actually turns the power on to the hot water system. We've also got, I'm going to turn this off, the only reason being is that we don't want to run the pump. We haven't actually filled tanks yet, we're about to do that now. But this gives you a display on this side that you can actually adjust the temperatures on. And then on the other side, you have the same functionality. This auxiliary gives you 2 USB outlets here, and another one, a cigarette lighter socket there. We'll also got another one upstairs, which we'll show you in a minute. That's the oven. So this actually here controls that oven. So if that oven is on, that light comes on. If we terminate that here, it actually turns the oven off, which is really good. So you can control the oven not just from your normal buttons on there, but you can actually control from here. So what we'll do is we'll just show you a little bit inside now, so you guys can see what the lighting is in there. Sorry, just before we go up there, we might actually show the fridge. So this is a Bushman fridge, and it's actually in a Bushman case as well. So this is like a barrier to protect it that goes around it. So yeah, no, it's actually a really good fridge. It's got a little freezer, a bit of an ice tray and everything for it as well. So going inside, so we've got another National Lunar one here against the touch one. So we got 3 different white settings, or if you're on any of the settings, press and hold it for a while, then you get the yellow settings. So, and the yellow one's really good. Again, no bugs, and with the stairs going up there at night, you can see quite well what you need to do. So just going up. Ooh, I'm a bit of a big fella, so it's bit squeezy for me, but it's not bad. So just up here, it's going to be a bit hard to see, but there we go. It's actually got that cigarette point lighter in the middle. Sorry, there's a cigarette socket, or a 12-volt socket for you can put a USB in or whatever you want, so that it's more adaptable. And then you've got these 2 flex Nava reading lights, and you can control them by actually depressing the lens itself, or you can control them by those modules downstairs, and or via the Bluetooth on your phone. So going back around here, so up here we've also got another ceiling light. Again, you can control it from in here, or you can control it from the panel down there. Now this is one that actually comes with Tommy, so we didn't do this one. This was already as part of this package. So this is when just the National Lunar light's on, and it shows you just, even in the yellow mode, they're extremely good. They do really light things up very well. You can see the stairs. You get a really nice line around the outside of the vehicle too, so you can see. And even here, where you're prepping your meals and cooking, it's very easy to see. Fridge opens the right direction after we changed it. So again, the world works in well with the kitchen.
Gotta do it.
Don't get into the desk. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not blocking him though?
No, definitely not blocking. No, 100% no.
Okay, cool. Alright. Come on. That's probably good. Yeah. That's actually not bad. I can live with that. Alright, Werner. So Werner is the owner of this vehicle and this fine setup. I think probably the really good question most people will have is, why, Werner? What do you want this set up for? What do you want to do with it?
I love to go travel more around Australia, and I got before a roof tent, another tent. It's great, but if it get a couple of days raining, it's a tent not any more comfortable. And I tried out already shown in Ballarat in rain, and it's great. I'm still dry, and yeah, and I love this setup. You know, it's quick setup. That's important. You know, it's half minutes. I'm in bed if I want.
So what Werner was talking about there is these Tommy campers are actually made in Melbourne, and Werner elected to drive down, so they can actually bring them to any part of the country you live in, within reason. You'd probably have to talk to Tommy about that. But Werner elected to drive from northern New South Wales down to Melbourne or Ballarat to pick the camper up, and then he hit some pretty decent weather on the way back. So he's learned very quickly that there's an advantage to having a sealed camper. So why the reason Tommy? What was the idea behind Tommy?
Because Tommy, it's a slide-on camper.
So how heavy is it?
380 kilo, 370, 380 naked.
That's without
naked,
all
without the stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't feel them really. It's not bulky if I go shitty roads or something. It's really solid.
It sits well, doesn't it?
Sits well.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised.
And we drove down a bit of a dirt road and was quite surprised at how well it just handles, you know, and it's just how stable it sits. And the ute's not a big ute, it's a BT50. It has a GVM upgrade to carry that sort of weight without ever getting close to overloading. But it handles it extremely well. It just seems to sit very nicely. There's one of the things I should probably mention is there's another water tank underneath that vehicle as well. So what was there was 80 litres under the water, under the car itself,
80 litre and 75
inside.
Yeah.
So combined total, getting around 155, 160 litre. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You should never run out travelling, should you?
That's great, and it's important. Water is important.
So with the setup and everything that we've done to that camper, why did you? What? Tell us basically. I think firstly, what is it you wanted, and why we derived at doing it the way we did. So why did we set it up the way it is?
Because I like it so way. I saw it before, and especially with the awning and all this quick setup. You know, not long muck around. You know, and that is quick setup and go in the camper.
Yep.
You know, and that is the important thing. You know, no muck around, takes time, and
actually take it off and leave the camper behind to sort of travel on without it. So while Werner's at home, he will be able to take the camper off the vehicle, sit it in his carport or in the garage, and then travel or use his car as a daily run around without sort of, I suppose, having to carry it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as far as what was important to you as far as the electric, so what was it that you actually wanted out of the camper? Obviously you wanted a fridge.
The fridge, I would love to get the oven.
Yep.
And I like to have a hot shower if it really was cold, couple of days raining, you know, it's nice to have a hot shower. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we all do that.
Yeah.
It's one of those luxuries, you know, that we can do these days with
No,
campers.
I'm really happy with the camper.
So what's next for you? Starting to do a bit of travelling now?
Yes, next week I heading off to Sunday, Monday heading off to Direction Cairns, north. A beautiful spot. Townsville.
You just sort of might end up the coast and see
go the
what's
coast
what.
up exactly, and then
It's a good
Tablelands, and 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah.
Good time of year to be doing
Yeah.
that, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the time you guys see this, Werner will have probably done that and he's gone. For those of you lucky enough to see him on the roads, don't be shy, say hello. But yeah, unfortunately, by the time this comes out, I would dare say that Vanna's probably already on the way back, or he's already in Cairns. So, but look, if you do see him, don't be shy, say hello. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this van comes back, or how the camper comes back once Vanna's taken it out there for a while. We'll obviously, there's always potential little kinks we might find, or things that we can improve on. And once Vanna comes back and done the big shakedown, I think we can work on what's next. There are a few little things I think that Vanna's already thought of wanting to do to the camper. One of the things we discussed was put a little table in underneath the drawer, so that you've actually got a table internally that can retract as well. And there's potentially some division or dividers that's got to go in underneath in the storage area to kind of bring the total size down. But it's something that yeah, Vanna will just work with, and he'll let us know how it goes.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for all your work. You know.
That's okay.
Yep, but it's really
Anything
fantastic.
for a good friend. And look, really enjoy your trip up there.
I will.
All the very
Pretty
best.
sure. Yeah, I look
Have a nice cold
forward.
beer.
Yeah.